Hey guys, it is Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to take a look at 2 Minutes to Midnight by Iron Maiden. So all the rhythm guitar parts in this one. And in the next video, we'll take a look at those guitar solos, pretty crazy guitar solos. So those are going to be a lot of fun. That'll be in a few days. So let's take a look here. We're in standard tuning. And this has got some a lot of parts to it, so kind of bear with me here as we work through it. I'll give you some minute, second marks a lot of times if there's some kind of strange part that I kind of want to point out, so you'll know exactly where it's at. So let's take a look here at this main riff. All right, so this is played a couple different ways within the song. Just very slight difference. I'll show you what's going on. Now we're going to start with the open A string twice, and then to the 5th fret on the D, G. Back to the open A twice, and now to the 7th fret D, G. So this. Back to the open A. So he keeps going back to the open A and hitting it twice, just muted. So we have this. Back to the 5s. Back to the mutes there, and then we have this little. Now this is what he's doing here. He's kind of emphasizing this. Sometimes he'll pull off. So they'll play these 2 7s, pull off to the open strings, and then come back down. It's very slight. And then sometimes you'll just hear him hit the 7s twice. He'll like just kill it and then play them again. So you kind of mix it up and do what you really want to do. Like, you can just do it like that instead. All right, so we have that. Start the riff back over. Now the second time through, instead of doing this, you just go down to the open A power chord. So we have this all together. You hit it a few times there. All right, so that's the main way to play the riff at the beginning of the song. As the band enters, he starts adding a little pull-off at the end, going from 3 to 0 on the A string. So it's just this. Start over. All right, so then we get to the verse when the vocals come in, and it's the same riff pretty much for a little bit. All right, but within the verse, he then goes to this. All right, so that part is very similar. It's just, instead of now with the open A, you just go over and play the 5th fret there on the A string. So you're still doing the 5s on this D, G, and the 7s as well. You just have a new bass note there. Now when you get back to the 5s, you do this. You pick the 5s, pull off 7 to 5 on the A string, and then back to the 5s twice. So we have this. Back to the riff the normal way. And then back to the, with the 5th fret there on the A string. All right, so that's the entire verse there. So that little transition happens at the end. And then we get to the pre-chorus, which sounds pretty cool. It looks like this. All right, that's leading us into the chorus here. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing an A minor chord. That's the 7th fret on the D string with a bar at the 5th fret on the G and the B. Now you have the open A string with it at the beginning. Kind of still doing those mutes a lot on the A string. And then you just add the 6th fret there on the B string. And then pick it again and pull off. So this. See, I keep going back to those little 2 mutes all the time. All right, then take it down to this G chord. Now what you're going to do is play the 3rd fret on the B, 4th on the G, 5th on the D, and then it's the same rhythm. Except now the note you're palm muting in the bass there is on the 5th fret there, the D string. And you add now, go up and add the pinky. You can leave these 3 fingers there, add the pinky at the 5th fret on the G string. It makes it a G sus4. Then go back to the G. Now do that exact same thing 2 frets lower on the F. So we have this so far. Then we're going to go to basically a C power chord. That's the 3rd fret of the A string power chord. You can do it like that if you want, or like that. And then it goes to a G chord, the one that we played earlier. So this. Then we start over. And then we're going to, instead of now ending it with that C to G, we're going to end it with the E sus4 chord. Now, all that is this. Hold an E major chord, and then add, now bring the pinky down here on the 2nd fret of the G string. Play all the strings like that, and then release it back down to the regular E major. Just kind of pick across it like that. All right, and then we get to the chorus. The chorus is a lot of fun. It looks like this. All right, so we're gonna start with it's kind of the open A string with the 5th fret there on the D string into the 7th fret on the A. A note though, it's the 7th fret on the D string, sorry. So we have this. You're gonna hit those 2 strings, then add the 7th fret, and then start palm muting on the A string. Then pull off 7 to 5 on the D, over to 7 on the A string. And just kind of do that a few times. So it's actually just do it twice. So you can see that. Down to that C power chord again. And then instead of playing the G like this, we're gonna play the open G. So that is just basically, you're going to be playing a standard G chord, but just muting the A string. All right, then we're going to take that to a D minor chord. Now this is just a bar at the 5th fret. Actually don't really need the full bar, but because you don't really pick across that far, but it's 5th fret on the A string, 7th on the D and the G, and 6th on the B. So first you hit the bottom of the chord, just as a power chord, then pick through the top notes, which, you know, the top note is what makes it a minor. And then take that to an F power chord here. It's at the 8th fret off the A string. Then move it up 2 frets to the G power chord. So we have this. Then we have this little. So that's just 7/5 on the D, then 7/6/5 on the A, down to 3, and then start the riff over. So you're going to end it there with that little lick. And then we go back into something that's very similar to the main riff of the song, but it's really just a transition back to the verse. And it has that little lick we just did there in the chorus in it. It looks like this. All right, so it's just like the main riff of the song in the verse, except just you throw that little lick in the chorus in there. And then you start in it the same way as in the verse. All right, so then we just go through the verse, pre-chorus, chorus again for the exact same stuff that we just covered, play it the same way. Now, we have some really cool rhythm guitar parts that go underneath the guitar solos. So this first guitar solo, it's what was it, 243 mark or something. All right, this is the rhythm for that. And that goes into the leads into the rhythm for the second guitar, well, second half of the guitar solo. All right, so we'll take care of that riff in a second. So we're going to start here. We're playing the open A a lot, and you're going to play this power chord shape off the 7th fret of the D string. So 7th fret on the D and 9th fret on the G with the open A with it. Then take that down to the 3rd fret, still with the open A, then up to the 5th fret. So still going back and hitting some, usually kind of 2 mutes, and you go back to the chord. All right, then so you can still have the open A in there. We have this, go back to the 3rd fret on the D, 5th on the G, then lower the 3rd fret down to 2, and then we have the 4th fret on the D, 2nd fret on the G with that open A. So we have this. So all together. All right, now we have this little lick that goes back to the top of the start over, and that's just 5-7-9 on the D, 5-7-9 on the G. And as you get to that 9 on the D string, you play that full chord again. Go through the same chords again. And now this ending though, instead of doing this, it does this. So the standard D power chord off the 5th string. So it's off the 5th fret of the A string. And then we have this little lick that's going to end it. That's 7 on the A, 5 on the D, then 7, 5, 3 on the A. And then you get down to the open A to start over. So we have this so far. Now just repeat. Now when we get here, we start the rhythm underneath the second guitar solo, which looks like this. It's at the, I don't know, second guitar solo. Don't know the minute second mark. It looks like this. That takes us to the interlude. So this one's really cool when they go into this one. So this is based off of the open E string now. 7th fret on the A, 9th on the D. So get that, kind of gets a kind of a different groove there. Keep the low E open there, and we're gonna go 2nd fret on the A now, 5th fret on the D. With that, keep going back to the open E. Then move this up to the 3rd fret on the A string, leave the pinky where it was. And then we go up to this chord, which is the cool one, the 4th fret on the A, 7th fret on the D. So we have this. And then we have, just like in the other guitar part, with this little lick that's going to take us back to the top. We have 5, 7, 9 on the A, 5, 7, 9 on the D, and when you get to that 9 on top, you treat it as the top of that power chord to start over. So we have this. Now this has a different ending chord. Instead of going up to 4 and 7, it goes to the A power chord. Open A string power chord. And we have this. So we have this 2, 5, 3, 2, 3 on the low E string to the open E. And that lets us start over. So we're going to repeat all of that twice. We have this. All right, now at the 3-minute and 23-second mark, we get to the interlude section. I'm not going to do any of the little lead guitar fills yet over it. We're just going to look at the chords, and in the solo video, I'll take a look at the cool little melodies that are going on over this. So we're going to back off a little bit. So we have this power chord off the 3rd fret of the A string. I'll just play through it real quick. We're back to the main riff. All right, so that is, we're going to start here with the 3rd fret power chord, kind of with the volume turned down a little bit, up to the 5th fret, it's off the A string, and then you can bring the volume, kind of slide down the low E string, and then that's a power chord off the 7th fret now. These are all off the A string power chords. And put a lot of vibrato on it. 7, 5, 7. And then up to 10, 5, 7. So we have this. Repeat that. Now the little guitar melody starts, and you just come back down to 3, 5, and you can actually, when it gets here, it makes it a full D major chord. So, I mean, obviously, I brought my pinky there, that goes all the way across to the D string, and I'm sorry, the B string. And then up to the E minor chord. Now that's just 7 on the, and just kind of roll that off a little bit. 7 on the A, 9 on the D and the G, and 8 on the B. Now there is a little lick there that's played here in the rhythm part. And that's just 12 on the B string, and then do a little hammer, 10 to 12, pull back off to 10. Then over 12, 11, 12 on the G string. Back to that 3rd fret power chord, 5, and then you just let it build up with a back with the heavy palm muting on the low E. And then we're here at the power chord again at 3rd fret. It kind of picks across each one. Kind of digging in on each note. And then we're back to the 5th fret, and that takes us back to that little main riff with that little chorus lick in it, which I really call it just a transition riff to get back to the verse. All right, so the only new part we have, goes back through the same familiar parts, is at the 5-minute and 19-second mark, we have kind of an outro extended chorus. And that sounds like this. All right, so that's, once again, you're kind of using the A as a drone. And we have the 5th fret power chord here off the D string. So 5th fret on the D, 7th on the G, along with that open A. So play that, and then move that power chord up 2 frets. Still keep the open A in it, under it. Now do that same maneuver, but at the 3-5. Now we're going to change to that double stop shape here that we were playing earlier in the main riff. The 5th fret across the D and the G. Move it up to 7. Play that. You want to do that. Now back to the 5th fret, D and G, and move that down to 2 on the D and the G. So always have that open A in there. So they just let them ring the first couple times through. And then after doing it that way twice, then he just plays the same chord. So it's usually coming back and handing the A string twice. Except for the last time, so this. And right here, just kind of end it on that last those last two. All right, so stay tuned for the next video. We're going to take a look at those killer guitar solos. I'll see you there.